With a pandemic going on, airlines look to take necessary steps to stay in business. Has Germany found the cure to COVID-19? Today's the first day of October, and so begins the festivities. UNT has the spot to celebrate German cuisine.
Broadcasting live from the University of North Texas, this is ntTV News at Noon.
Thanks for joining us on ntTV News at Noon. I'm Trevor Newell. We begin today's newscast with an update regarding from the sky. Unless a last-minute deal is reached in our nation's capital, the airline industry may see some budget cuts due to the COVID-stricken economy. John Loring has more.
The airline industry isn't soaring right now.
Look, the last thing we want to do is furlough employees.
The Coronavirus Aid, Relief, and Economic Security Act, or CARES Act, gave airlines $25 billion earlier this year to hold off on job cuts through September. But without another stimulus package from Congress, tens of thousands of airline employees will lose their jobs.
My message to Congress is that we are real people. We are aviation's first responders and frontline workers, and our livelihood and our health care is literally in their hands.
Airline executives say they'll keep paying their workers if Congress will approve an extra $25 billion in grants to carriers.
But really encouraged by the fact that it sounds like they're making real progress. That is absolutely the right path for airlines, and I think actually for our country.
Although Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin and House Speaker Nancy Pelosi are reportedly advancing on a stimulus deal, some of the damage is already done. American Airlines is planning to start furloughing 19,000 workers. United Airlines officials say they're considering about 12,000 cuts. Thousands of other airline workers could face the same fate if a deal isn't reached soon.
We expect Congress to do their jobs to help us. You know, the aviation industry is huge in America, and it affects every single congressman and congresswoman.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
If Mean Green students were planning on traveling this spring break, they may want to reconsider. UNT has canceled spring break for the coming spring semester, which will eliminate 1 week from the semester in an effort to limit the spread of the coronavirus. It was originally scheduled on March 8th through March 12th, but that has now been replaced with 1 day off on April 2nd. Students will attend their regular classes through the break, but finals week will begin on April 24th instead of May 1st. UNT President Neil Simatris sent an email to students warning them of the dangers that come along with spring break, such as public transportation and vacation spots. A German company has begun phase 2 of developing their COVID-19 vaccine in Panama. The 250 volunteers who had received the vaccine will be monitored over the next 13 months to confirm the safety of the vaccine. All participants of the study were required to sign a consent form informing the subjects about the possible risk of side effects. As of now, there are no word yet on when the vaccine will be released to the public. It was kind of chilly on the way to the studio. Donald Britton will tell us what to expect this weekend. Donald?
Thanks, Trevor. We're off to a cold start this morning, a great way to start October. We're going to see it warm up as the day goes on, but right now we're experiencing temperatures in the mid-70s with wind speeds of 9 miles per hour, making it feel more like 79. Now, as we move closer into the night, temperatures will drop to 48 degrees, and it is going to be clear skies and wind speeds of 5 miles per hour. So if you are out on a walk, you might want to grab a little light jacket. Tomorrow we're going to get plenty of sunshine with a temperature of 77 degrees and wind speeds of 8 miles per hour, making it feel more like 80. So it's going to be pretty sunny tomorrow. The weekend is looking quite promising, but I'll have more on that later in the forecast. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Donald. Last night, a female student reported a sexual assault that occurred in Kerr Residence Hall between 4 and 5 in the afternoon. UNT PD sent out a campus-wide email notifying students and faculty about the assault, and reported that the victim and the subject had, quote, smoked an illegal drug together, which affected her ability to fully understand what was occurring. UNTPD also stated in the email that these reports are to help make the public and community safe by sharing information about how perpetrators are preying on victims. When we return, we will fill you in on voting updates in regard to some statements President Trump made during the debate. Plus, we have a little German-inspired event occurring here on campus. See you all soon.
People think I'm trash, but they're wrong. Today I'm just an aluminum can, but one day I could be a stadium.
You taught him how to hit a baseball, how to hit a receiver. You even taught him how to hit the open man. But how much time have you spent teaching him what not to hit?
Eleven Democratic governors are warning against voter intimidation and harassment. In a joint letter written by the governors, they say that democracy will be delivered in next month's election. Though the statement didn't mention Trump by name, this comes after the repeatedly mentioned election fraud. CNN's Pamela Brown has more.
President Trump seemingly outlining at the debate a three-pronged strategy to win re-election: disinformation,
it's a disaster.
Intimidation,
Watch very carefully.
and relying on realigned courts.
I think I'm counting on them to look at the ballots, definitely.
Trump calling on supporters to watch people at the polls, not always in an official capacity, which Democrats fear could intimidate voters. Something the Nevada Attorney General said will not be allowed in his state, warning in a tweet, "You will be prosecuted." Trump also is magnifying minor mail-in ballot issues, wrongly calling them
Fraud like you've never seen.
pointing to his allies being denied entering at an early voting site in Pennsylvania, which state rules don't allow, and railing against mail-in voting with more misinformation.
Take a look at West Virginia, mailmen selling the ballots. They're being sold. They're being dumped in rivers.
A false claim prompting West Virginia's Republican Secretary of State to clarify in a statement a postal carrier altered absentee ballot applications, not ballots.
This is a horrible thing for our country. This is not going to end well.
Trump also made clear his hope that pushing through his Supreme Court Justice nominee, Amy Coney Barrett, will tip the scales at the High Court in his favor.
I hope we don't need them in terms of the election itself, but for the ballots, I think so.
Denton Mayor Chris Watts is finding a new place to work after his recent defeat in Texas Senate District 30. As of right now, an official runoff date has not been set. The mayor has declined to endorse neither Drew Springer nor Shelley Luther to represent District 30. Under state law, a candidate must receive over 50% of the ballots cast in order to win a race. With all the stress on voting and politics going on, students may want to take a culture break and head over to Bruceteria. Victor Villagrand is over at Bruce Hall Cafeteria with more information. Victor?
Thanks, Trevor. I'm here at Bruce Hall today where Oktoberfest is being held. This festival is an event where authentic German food and German-inspired cuisines are enjoyed as October rolls in. These dishes include pork schnitzel, rotisserie chicken, strudel, and many more delicious German plates. However, this year things are a little different. While the event is usually a huge deal, this year's Oktoberfest has to abide by COVID-19 guidelines and maintain social distancing. And as a result, there's no live music to dance to. Hopefully by next year, things will be back to the way it was. Back to you, Trevor.
Absolutely. Thanks, Victor. Hey, Donald, is this going to be a good weekend for outdoor festivals?
Thank Thanks, Trevor. The weekend is looking pretty good right now, but right now let's take a look at our temperatures across North Texas. Right now we have 77 in Stevensville, 75 in Decatur, and 76 here in North Texas. So roughly the same temperatures across North Texas. Now let's take a look at our temperatures across the state. It's going to be a little bit warmer over in El Paso. They're sitting at a temperature of 82 degrees. And as we move up north, it's going to be cooler temperatures with temperatures of 67 in Amarillo and 69 in Oklahoma City. Now let's take a look at what our 7-day forecast has in store for us. Highs are in the lower 80s today, and if you haven't made those weekend plans, Trevor, you better get on it because you won't be disappointed. Nice and pleasant as we go into next week, and Wednesday brings a high of 91, so back to the warmer temperatures. That's it for the full weather. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Donald. The Carolina Panthers are using ultraviolet light technology to kill off the coronavirus in their stadium and other facilities. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, warmer temperatures and exposure to sunlight will reduce the time the virus survives on surfaces and objects. Although the device called the Light Strike robot cost $125,000, Zenith, the company that makes the robot, says it kills 99.99% of bacteria left on surfaces. Let's all hope the Panthers can do what they can to give us football this weekend. When we return, Justin Ballou will update us more on football to be played this weekend. Right, Justin?
Thanks, Trevor. Stay tuned to the Sports Report to see a preview of both the Cowboys and Mean Green football games coming up this weekend.
This job looks perfect. It says you need a high school diploma. You've got one of those, right?
Skip the drama. Get your diploma.
I got that.
Find free adult education classes at finishyourdiploma.org.
In America,
The Dallas Cowboys take on the Cleveland Browns this weekend as Dallas tries to avenge last week's loss in Seattle. Now, both of these teams come in with injuries all over the place. Cowboys right tackle Lyle Collins is out, and left tackle Tyron Smith is a game-time decision for this one due to injuries. Now, Dallas linebacking core is also still beat up as both Sean Lee and Leighton Vander Esch have struggled to stay healthy this season. But the Browns are also banged up. Both starting quarterbacks Denzel Ward and Greedy Williams are questionable this week, so expect Dak Prescott to continue his sensational 2020 season. By the way, he leads the NFL in passing yards through 3 games. There is sure to be an abundance of points in this one as Baker Mayfield and Dak Prescott go head-to-head for the first time. The Mean Green football team kicks off conference play this weekend as Southern Miss comes to town. The UNT football team had its game canceled last weekend due to a COVID-19 outbreak, but as of now, they are still scheduled to play this Saturday. Mean Green head coach Seth Luttrell has still not named a starting quarterback, but I suspect that after this Saturday's game, a decision will be made sooner rather than later. The game will kick off at 6:30 at Apogee Stadium as UNT looks to get to 2-1 on the year. That's all for sports. Back to you, Trevor.
Thanks for watching ntTV News at Noon. Join us again tonight at 6 p.m. here on North Texas Television.